Hi, we're back on part two. They do that whenever they start saying something that's really sensitive. They just cut off my tape. So we're back on. What I was saying was, they did give me a bike, and I went away for the weekend. The day after they gave me the bike, a guy said he wanted to ride it for a couple of days. Never gave it back to me. And so that was their attempt to make sure that I could never bike out of Guelph to find out that I was imprisoned. After that point, not one single thing was ever done for me to tell me what had happened, to give me some way of getting free. Nothing was ever done. That's the one thing about this country is I have to say I was never helped by anyone. I'm not talking about the average Canadian. I've stated that the average Canadian has been wonderful. What I'm saying is the Canadian establishment, the cops, the lawyers, the judges, the CEOs, the social workers, not one of them, not one of them has ever stepped forward in my defense or helped me out. Not one. And what I'm saying is they all knew that I was trapped, that I was in this camp, that I was being tortured and likely murdered, and not one of them did a single thing. After the bike, not one goddamn effort was ever made to help me, to educate me, to guide me to freedom. They just turned around and just gave up and just dumped me here and turned their backs and left me. Months and months and months went by and not one clue was given, not one thing was done. I said that from Christmas Eve until recently, until Easter, I've spent every single night outside sleeping in the cold concrete of Vancouver streets with no clothes, no money, no medical care, and everything that I own in my life is I'm wearing right now. I have nothing left. I have nothing. I have been treated like garbage. The only animals that basically end up being put outside to sleep all through the winter are barnyard animals. Dogs and cats, you wouldn't do it to, but a cow or a pig, that's exactly how Canada treats me. What's really alarming is after everything that I've done for this country, and I did it willingly, and it really bothers me that I have to say this and put it this way. It does, because it takes away from the beauty of what I did and the purity of what I did to help the average Canadian out, because we all have been screwed so much by this country and the government here. But what really bothers me is I have to say this. After everything I did for this country, so many families are still alive and still together by what I did. And in return, this country has starved me. It's fucking molested me. It's goddamn assaulted me. It's made me sleep outside in the street all winter long with no clothing, no food, no money, nothing. I can't get medical care. My jaw was broken when I was violently assaulted November 22nd. Nobody will give me any medical care for that. It's broken. I can't close it properly. I have got a bronchial infection now that might be turning into pneumonia. This country has treated me like a barnyard animal. Considering what I did, it has gone out of its way as if I had murdered 100,000 women. I am just in shock. I came here today hoping to get the hell out of here and get my sister back in my life. Kelly and I have been estranged from each other because of the cops. They lied and separated us 3.5 years ago. They still won't come honest and come clean rather, and be honest and admit they lied. They're still trying to cover up their crimes. They are hoping that I will die and that they can get away with it, including Trudeau. Trudeau knew when he was running for prime minister of this country that 100,000 women were murdered, and he knew why, and he never told anyone. He's Illuminati, and his loyalties have gone towards the Antichrist and not towards Canadians. He has a duty to have explained to us what was going on. Trudeau also knew the great water apocalypse when the cops went crazy and took over the cities in May of 2016. Trudeau's Illuminati. He knew it was coming. He never did anything. It's disgusting what's going on in this country. I have suffered so badly. I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing. I don't even have my sister in my life, and not one goddamn Canadian will help me. I'm not talking about the average person on the street. I'm talking about the so-called establishment that get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars and have done nothing. They fucked all of us. 35 million Canadians are homeless now because of the power establishment in this country. Not one goddamn one of them. Still, they leave me last night to sleep out on the goddamn street again. They still won't do anything. Nothing. I'm here today. I'm just so disgusted. I'm so disgusted and fed up with all of them in this country. And I'm dying now. I have barely anything to eat any day. I am suffering immensely. I can't get rid of this bacteria that I had for over 3 months now. And this country turned its back and let me sleep in the winter outside every single night with no clothes. Nothing. 3 weeks ago, the cops stole my winter coat and my shoes, and no one in this country could come forward after everything I did and get me a winter coat or a pair of shoes for $50. I walked around in a pair of plastic hospital shoes for 2 weeks. That's why I'm still sick, and that's why the antibiotics aren't working. I can't get well. I'm so fed up. I'm so hurt. I'm so colossally hurt by what has been done to me and by the way this country has treated me and shat on me. It's just ignored me. We all have suffered. I know we all have been screwed by these people, and they keep screwing us. They keep lying. They keep hiding this. The only reason that people have not done anything for me is they thought for sure the Illuminati would have killed me by now. They were certain I'd be dead because most people are. And now they're stuck. They did nothing. For 2 years, they let me sit in a goddamn concentration camp knowing I was fully innocent, and they turned their back and let me suffer so they could walk free. They all were certain that I would be dead and they could get away with everything and no one would ever know that they never helped me. If anyone tells you that they helped Where's My Canada or they protected it, turn around and tell them to stop lying. Not one person in this country in the last 2 years has done one thing to help me. There has been no protection. I was assaulted 10 times in the last 15 months. I was sexually molested one night, twice in the same evening on the street while the Toronto police watched on video and did nothing. There has not been one goddamn thing done in my protection. And last night, I'm still struggling. I'm still goddamn struggling to find freedom, to find my sister, to live. I'm struggling to stay alive, and not one person is helping me. Everyone needs to know this. The crimes that have gone on, I want everyone to know that the Great Water Apocalypse was in the planning stages in 2012. You have been all lied to. We all have been lied to. During the last election, everybody knew what was going on and they all lied to us. They knew the water apocalypse was planned and not one person said a single thing. Millions of people could have been saved instead of going through the hell that they went through in the crisis, but nobody cared. I don't know where the next couple of days are for me. Frankly, I think I could be dead within a couple of days. I cannot breathe. I cannot get full breaths in my mouth. I have been on antibiotics for a week and I still can't get a full breath. And they let me, despite that, and despite seeing me struggle to breathe, they left me to freeze outside all night long last night with no food again. This is how I'm treated. I am not being protected. I am not being helped. Bell Canada still hasn't given me a dime in compensation after they fired me because I had PTSD. They still owe me $2,800 in back wages CIBC stole $4,000 from my bank account and still won't pay it back. They know I'm sleeping on the street. They know I have no clothes, but they still won't do a goddamn fucking thing. All of these people are crooks and criminals. They all need to be called to favor. Justin Trudeau, get in front of the goddamn camera and tell everyone why you didn't tell us why you knew 100,000 women were murdered. If there were 100,000 white women in downtown Toronto that were murdered, everyone would be on top of it. It was pure bigotry and racism. Answer this question. Why did you not tell the world and Canada the great water apocalypse was on the way? And why did you hide the fact that 100,000 women were murdered for gold? Answer those questions. It's time for truth, the hard truth. We need to know what happened and why. I will not tolerate this bullshit any longer. I am being murdered right now, and I have days left to live. No one is helping me. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do now, if I'm supposed to start swimming north on a kayak, or what the hell did I do to find my goddamn freedom? Because as of today, sitting here, the clones are all around the place, and I still have no goddamn fucking freedom. Somewhere north of here, maybe a 10-minute radius, a half an hour radius, the goddamn fucking Wi-Fi signals will cut off, and the clones won't be around, and I'll be able to find some freedom. That's if the Canadian Army finally decides to do something and help me. You disappointed me immensely. You all took off, and I was drugged and brought into this concentration camp, and not one person has helped me. I'm disappointed with you, the Army. I thought there was more to you. You have betrayed me as well. I have made so many bloody efforts to try to find you or meet you halfway, and nothing has been done. Not one pillar of this Canadian society has stood behind me. Only the church. Forgive me, the church has. The Catholic and Anglican churches have stood behind me, but that's it. No one. Where is the goddamn army, and when are you going to get me free?